It's time for the Nebraska Football Coaches Show. Proudly brought to you by Channel. Rise to the challenge with Channel.
They are punched up around the line of scrimmage. Handoff to Dowdell off the right side. Touchdown, Nebraska. Dante Dowdell finds pay dirt. 6-0 Big Red. Let those balloons loose. Snap back. Caliac man is going to throw it. Being flushed out of the pocket, rolling downfield, looking, throws. Pass intercepted. Picked off by the Huskers at the 27-yard line. Marquise Buford with an INT. The Huskers will take over at their own 27-yard line. Gets the snap. Looking left, throwing left, and nearly picked off. Huskers have stopped them. Will take over on downs at the 2-yard line. What a stand by the Black Shirts. Dremel is deep. Buschini, the hobbling Brian Buschini is in punt formation. Huskers have had 2 punts blocked. They snap it back. They're fake. Buschini throws it down the field. Matt is caught. Grabbed at the 40-yard line by Jalen Lloyd. It's a first down. The Huskers run a fake, and Buschini rifles a pass to Jalen Lloyd all the way to the Rutgers 37-yard line.
Here's your host, Greg Sharpe, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. Back after a week off. The Huskers had the bye week, but now back into Big Ten play. They're headed to Bloomington, Indiana to take on, the nationally ranked Indiana Hoosiers on Saturday. If you want to be a part of the program, our text line's wide open for you, 402-413-2400. And I've got the chat room up on YouTube. If you've got a question for the coach, you can fire those away as well. So we do have the head football coach of the Cornhuskers with us, Matt Rule. Good to see you. I hope you enjoyed the bye week.
That was great, but I'm excited to get back to work.
Did you get to watch and be a fan Saturday?
I did. I got to watch a lot of football, some great games. It was fun, a fun day to just be a fan.
Can you enjoy a game, or are you picking things apart as you're watching it?
No, I enjoy it. I mean, I love college football, even in my time in the NFL, both as an assistant and a head coach. I'd spend, Saturday's pretty open for, and when you're in the NFL, I'd watch college football all day. So, I'll watch Thursday night, Friday night, anytime it's on, I watch it. I enjoy it. And, obviously you're looking at certain things, but I certainly like watching it. You
said at your press conference Monday there were some things that kind of bothered you a little bit. Too much celebratory things that maybe college is picking up, maybe from the NFL guys that they watch celebrate a little bit. What did you see that maybe kind of irked you a little bit?
Yeah, just I think again, the guy should celebrate. Guy should have fun. Guy should compete. Guy should be a little trash talk probably, but, I don't think you should disrespect the other team. I don't think you should, I don't think you should disrespect them after the game. After the game, you're supposed to go out, shake hands, respect each other for a game well fought. So I probably should get off my soapbox, but I think we're teaching life lessons when we coach football. It's not just for everybody else. It's also for the players. And again, compete, have a little fun. But when the game's over, let's be respectful.
Are these things that are talked about in coaches' meetings at the Big Ten level at all? The guys talk, or not really?
Not really.
No.
There's so many issues facing college football right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things that are probably at the forefront, but it's still a game. Coaches are supposed to be gentlemen. We're not supposed to be talking trash about each other. We're supposed to respect each other. We're supposed to be setting a good example for the players. Players are supposed to go play, and so we're certainly not perfect here, but just really hit me watching it. And so, we covered it with our team. Hey, we have a big win. Let's shake the other team's hand. Let's not disrespect the game and disrespect the other team.
Having said that, the game is still in a great place, isn't it? I mean, those games Saturday were enticing. You couldn't turn them off. Overtime games, 2 in the Big Ten Conference. Just great competition across the board.
Yeah, I think the new era of college football, super conferences, the portal, roster parity. I think the game is in a different place, and so when you turn the game on, you don't know what's going to happen. Teams that you kind of say to yourself, well, that shouldn't be a powerhouse, or they're not a blue blood, but they might be a heck of a team now. And teams that were a really good team last year, their roster can change quickly, and so every Saturday makes for some interesting things to happen. There's only 3 undefeated teams in an 18-team Big Ten, and so I think it's all very interesting.
You've said that all summer about how do you judge somebody's schedule until you get into it because of the changing and the fluidity of these rosters. A case in point is Indiana. Nobody thought 6 months ago Indiana would be a team that's one of those ones that's undefeated right now.
Yeah. Indiana's done a great job. They've transported in a bunch of good players from I think 10 or 11 win James Madison team. Like a couple years, some of those guys probably played there when they were FCS and then they were FBS, so they're winners. They know how to win, and that wouldn't have happened. I remember when I left Temple and took the Baylor job. It was in my contract that I couldn't even offer a scholarship to a player that we had been recruiting at Temple. And now, then some coaches came along and they had guys committed to them. And they took another job and they took the commits. And now you see guys taking their whole team. And so, not saying that's wrong or right. It's just different. It's just changed the dynamics. And so, I think every year people are going to have to forget the logos and forget the names and just wait and see how things play out, see how the roster is. And Coach Cignetti's an amazing coach. He's done a great job of, taking that team and putting together a top 20 ranked team.
You took a different approach here. You basically kept people that wanted to be here and be a part of it. At what point did it feel like it was your team? And maybe you're not quite there yet, but is there a point that you feel like, okay, this is my football team?
Yeah, I made the decision when I got here. When I first talked to the players, I said I wasn't going to run anybody off. I also wasn't going to beg anybody to stay. If you wanted to be here, I wanted you here. And I reminded them that I chose to come there and be their coach. And so, usually when a new coach comes in, the guys who are there, it's almost like, hey, does this guy really want me here? I worked very hard, very quickly to eliminate that. Everybody here is a Cornhusker, and I wanted them to feel a part of it. And so, as a coach, you have to make tough decisions. But we haven't wanted, because of our roster flexibility, we haven't wanted to, eliminate a bunch of guys. At the same time, we have a really strong nucleus, I think, of young players because of our recruiting the last 2 years, and that'll continue. And I didn't have the flexibility to bring people from another school. It wasn't like I came from Baylor to here, and I don't begrudge anyone that. It's just the way we're doing it here, and I'm proud of what we're doing. We've come a long way in a short time. We still have a long way to go, and this week is a great step towards that.
Let's go back to the Rutgers game. Boy, 6 snaps inside the 5. You keep them out of the end zone. That was an amazing stand. It reminded me a little bit of the one we had at Illinois last year in Champaign. It was just terrific play by your defense.
Yeah, I thought the big deal was that the guys enjoyed it. Can you be in hard situations and tough situations and enjoy it? It reminded me of last year's Illinois game. It reminded me of last year Purdue and Northwestern, where the other team started the game off with the ball inside our own red zone. And guys went out and made plays, and I was really proud of them. You talk about some crucial moments, whether it's Bushini's punt at the end, whether it's Dylan going down and scoring before the half, with the offense and the offensive guys making plays to get down there, or those key stops. And I go back to Deshaun Singleton's play. They ran the tight end across the formation, and here he is in man coverage running over the top and making the play, and those are the same plays we didn't make against Illinois. And so we've gotten better since then. We've learned a lot, and I was proud of the guys.
That game was played with blow dryers on you, right? Warm temperatures and wind. Even though people watch on TV like, oh, beautiful sunny day, it was a difficult condition game to play.
Yeah, it was gusts up to 30, 40, 50 miles an hour, but more importantly, it was changing. It was moving, and so.
Kudos to you, by the way, on the way you handled the coin toss.
Oh, I appreciate that. You hope every once in a while you do something right that helps the team. And even in the end, they were throwing into the wind, so we had the wind in the fourth. So I've tried to learn from the coaches in this area and the coaches around. And I thought the guys took advantage when they had the wind at their back offensively and got some points and got ahead. And, defensively, I thought, we took advantage of when they had to throw into the wind. The wind died down in the second half, but it still was there. But the first half, I thought that was something I hadn't really seen before.
It's gusty, really gusty. I was going to ask you some post-game after the game, and I forgot. You had a special guy run you and lead you out the tunnel. Ndamukong Suh came back to go in the Nebraska Athletics Hall of Fame. Good to see the big fellow. He has a real affinity for this place, and I think I hope you can pick up on that from Ndamukong.
Yeah, I think he has a real love for Nebraska, obviously. He has real love for the football program, but I think he also has a real love for the brotherhood of the players. And, whether it's, being out there at practice and seeing guys from the 60s and 70s come out and hang out and watch practice, whether it's, seeing, Jay Foreman out there or Jason Peter, any of the guys from the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. What we want everyone to feel like this is their program, because it is. And we want them to come back and be a part of it. And, we tried our best, to maintain our focus on putting a good product out there while also inviting people back. And Ndamukong was, back here and spoke to the team and didn't really speak at them. He just, answered their questions. And it was a cool moment, and I'm glad our guys had a chance to do that.
One of the great players of all time. I mean, a lot of people think he might be the best player in college football for the last 20 years. He was that dominant. Amazing.
I'm glad I didn't have to block him, game plan against him.
Your two guys up front right now would have made him proud, the way they played. And I think I did ask you some postgame. Both Ty and Nash were really tough to block for Rutgers. They were disruptive guys all afternoon.
Yeah, and I think it's, those two are great players. I think it's a collective effort. I think You know, you have Gift down there in the run fits blitzing. You got, Jamari and MJ setting edges. I mean, I really like the way our defense played in that game. You know, you get guys at the end of the game with pass rush. James Williams did a great job, and you hear a lot about that, but it's stopping the run early. And then there were a couple runs early that squeaked out on us, but settling in, stopping the run early, not giving up big plays, getting a lead, playing stifling defense, suffocating defense. That only happens with a team, but you need great players to do it. And Ty and Nash certainly are great players, and I was proud to see them the way they played.
Folks, contact 811 2 days before you dig to protect your underground utilities and yourself. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. So you post win number 5, beat Rutgers, get into the bye week. Do you immediately go to self-evaluation? How did you approach last week? And I know you did self-evaluation, but how did you kind of get into the last week, the bye week?
Yeah, I mean, there's really 3 purposes in the bye week, at least the first bye week. It's, to self-scout and look at, really you say to yourself, hey, what do we do well? What are we not doing well that we're doing too much of? And, who are the guys that are making plays for us, who aren't, how can we help them? And then the second thing is you're developing next year's team. We go out there with the 2s and the 3s, and we get live work, the 4s, some guys are down the depth chart, and some guys really popped. Like some guys from where they were in training camp to, working on the scout teams to now getting to that bye week. I mean, you see some guys really, really, really pop, and you watch there and you see a Braylon Prude or you see a Caleb Benning, and you say to yourself, like, hey, we're going to be in really good hands here when these older guys leave, just seeing the way that they practice and many more. But, so I think that's important. And then finally, you're doing Indiana. You're getting ahead on the next week. You're getting guys ready and prepared. So you're taking your self-scout, but also looking at the opponent and trying to put it together. And then you're getting some guys healthy. We're a little beat up, so getting some guys healthy is important.
Somebody in the chat room wants to go, what's an update on Danny Kalin? Has not played yet this year, probably headed for a red shirt. What are you seeing from Danny?
Danny's done a great job, especially in a week like this week where he's playing a lot of reps at quarterback for us, but also playing Rourke. He's done a great job. Tremendously accurate, great feet, smart. I was coming out of the meeting rooms last night, heading downstairs. There's not many players in the building. It's 9 o'clock at night, 9:30 at night, and Danny's walking out of the quarterback room, watching extra tape. I said, hey, you ready to go if you need to go? He said, absolutely. So I love his approach, and what people don't understand is sometimes you're a quarterback in high school and you get evaluated at Elite 11 and 7-on-7, all great things, but it doesn't show how you can play the pass rush, how you can move in the pocket, and when you're going over there and you're on the scout team and you got Ty and Nash coming at you, you're gonna learn how to manage the pocket,
right,
and still keep your eyes down the field. And so I think he's doing a great job of that and still getting ready to play on offense, coming over and taking reps there. So proud of what he's done so far.
Good. Mike on our text line wants to know if you can give us an update on Brody Tagola.
Yeah, Brody played. He played, I think, in 1 game so far. He's working his way back. I think he's doing a nice job. So he's obviously got some good players in front of him. Some of the guys we mentioned, but I think the future is very bright for him. Love his approach, and we're lucky. You go over in the scout team and our first team offense. They're blocking Brody and they're blocking Riley Van Poppel, and they're blocking some really good players. And so Brody's time will come.
You mentioned Riley. He did play. That was the first game he's played this year. You can pick some spots now with him, and now with only 6 games left, you can play a majority of those.
Yeah, and he played the first 2, and then we made the decision after that. Right. So he's got one left. More. Yeah, but we knew that was a game we would want him. We knew that they were going to come out and run the ball 60, 70, 80 times, and you look at the schedule moving forward. If there's going to be a game where we could use him, and the biggest thing I like about him is the way this isn't wasted time for him. This isn't like a year off. He's getting better, and we get to the postseason, he can play then as well. So, people don't. Over the years, what I found is before the college football playoff era, but just even in the bowl weeks, we were kind of known for making these major changes, changing positions, and doing things with guys or developing players. A lot of it came from those 2, 3, 4 weeks leading up to a bowl game. Really developing players. It's almost like another spring ball, and so Riley's taking advantage of that time right now. Then we get into the postseason. It's just going to be so much more for him that I think when next year comes, I think he'll be a fantastic player.
Thought he did some good things last year for us when he got on the field. Black shirts. You gave out a couple black shirts this week, with one being your punter. Talk about that and what was that's always an exciting moment for young men.
Yeah, I got a text from, I think it was Marquise Buford. Well, it was Marquise Buford, and he was like, hey, Coach, we got to put Buschini in black. And so, in a day and age where, sometimes players are just worried about themselves, to have a player worried about his teammate, I thought was really cool. And Brian certainly affected the game. He's affected 2 games in a row. And so it made total sense. it's really easy to play great defense when the other team has the ball inside their own 10.
Mm-hmm.
And that plus Bryant's, violent tackling and dominant contact he's had, it just kind of fits our ethos, and fired up for him.
We do a hit of the game as the game goes on, and Purdue, he had that huge hit. I'd already given out the award. I should have waited because that was a monster hit right in front of your sideline over there.
It was a big-time play, and I thought it really kind of got us going, got us kind of, I'm not going to say woken up, but just took us to another level, and we played really good football after that.
He showed some toughness in the Rutgers game because he got hit pretty hard on that first punt. That has to bleed down the team too, right? To see that their punter's going out there and fighting like that.
Yeah, I mean, as a coach, when you have examples of guys being selfless, being tough, sacrificing for their team, it's great. So when excuse me for that, when I can show him, and then a couple of days later he gets a black shirt, and that's coming from his peers, from his teammates. I think that builds great culture.
Tony White said that Sierra Wright also got a black shirt, brought it to practice, didn't put it on, and Tony's like, get that on. That's your badge. Put that thing on. He has really coached. What a great story. He didn't get here until July, and now he's doing really good things for this team. Yeah, well,
he's a football player. He loves football. I mean, a lot of guys have talent. Not everyone loves the grind and loves practice and loves football, and he's done that. And I'm glad to see him. Get his opportunity, and he's playing really well. And so, hopefully it can be a really good thing for us when Tommy's back and he's there and Marquise is there, and you have a bunch of guys out there playing that can play.
Good stuff. Hey, go folks, get more for what you grow with CVA for a limited time. Be entered to win a $10,000 bonus when you contract a minimum of 25,000 bushels of value-added grain at CVAcoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation. Keep those texts coming. I see a couple of them. We'll get to those, Coach, in the next segment. 402-413-2400. More of the show next.
Just like D1 athletes, farmers view each growing season as a new opportunity. Aurora Cooperative is committed to elevating the success of our members every season. Rooted in our core mission, we provide top-notch products, services, and expertise. Our strong work ethic mirrors that of the Huskers, driving success. Choose Aurora Cooperative, your partner in elevating agriculture. Go Big Red!
Hi, I'm Tom Osborne, former football coach and co-founder of the Teammates Mentoring Program.
And I'm Des Moines Adams, Husker Black Shirt and CEO of Teammates Mentoring.
We're recruiting teammates mentors and need caring adults to be in the lives of our students.
Meeting with a student once a week at the school can make a positive impact in their life and have a ripple effect in our communities.
Please join our team.
Go to teammates.org today.
Central Valley Ag works with our farmers to feed a hungry planet. At CVA fuel sites, Central Valley Ag offers a 5-cent per gallon discount to CVA fuel card holders. Now, for a limited time, get the 5-cent discount and enter to win $100 worth of free fuel when you get a new or additional CVA fuel card. Sign up at CVAcoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Athletics.
In the game of life, we all face tough moments. Sometimes it feels like we're up against a formidable defense with no way through. Call a timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Don't wait for the final whistle. Reach out, speak up, and let's tackle this together. Because in Nebraska, we're more than a team. We're family. Remember, in times of need, call, text, or chat 988. Presented by Nebraska DHHS.
A lot can happen between falling in love with a house online and owning it. Between imagining living there and breathing in your new home for the first time. Having an advocate who can help you navigate the complex world of financing, inspections, negotiating, analyzing the market, and talking through any anxieties that may pop up, that can make all the difference. That's what the expertise of a Realtor can do for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors and bound by a code of ethics, because that's who we are.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Cyber threats are everywhere. When is the last time you stopped to think about how you're protecting your business from potential data breaches, phishing scams, or ransomware? It's time to make cybersecurity a priority for your business. At Hamilton, our unmatched expertise and cutting-edge technology goes beyond basic defense, providing proactive, tailored solutions that keep your data, network, and digital assets protected. Better protection, better cybersecurity with Hamilton. Visit our website at hamiltonisbusiness.com to learn more.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
This fall, be ready for every tailgate, touchdown, and adventure in a perfect car, truck, or SUV from Sid Dillon Chevrolet. Visit us in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo and shop Nebraska's #1 volume Chevy dealer group. We're also your Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, offering medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Visit us at SidDillonChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Husker fans, it's game day, and Pizza Hut's got your perfect play. Score the Game Day Special for just $29.99. Get 2 medium 3-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Enough to feed 8 hungry fans. Pizza, wings, breadsticks, and more. It's the ultimate lineup to fuel your game day. Check out the full menu online at pizzahut.com or in store. Because remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
From family road trips in a spacious SUV to heavy-duty hauling in a powerful truck, Woodhouse has the vehicle to fit your lifestyle. Purchasing a vehicle has never been easier thanks to our streamlined buying process. Browse a huge selection of new or pre-owned vehicles from top brands. View transparent pricing so you can find the vehicle that fits in your budget. And complete your purchase online. Shop when you want, where you want. It's the Woodhouse difference. Get started today at woodhouse.com.
Back on their Husker Football Radio Hour, brought to you by Channel. As a farmer, challenges arise daily with a new enhanced Channel seed brand. You can tackle them all. Rise to the challenge with Channel. Learn more at channel.com/rise. Head coach Matt Earl with us tonight. Up until the top of the hour, Huskers back in action this week, taking on Indiana in a battle of ranked teams on Saturday, 11 o'clock kickoff. And then we'll be on the air at 7 a.m. with Husker Game Day. Jeff in Omaha on our text line for you, Coach. How does the NCAA police schools contacting players at other schools, trying to get them to transfer, pushing NIL opportunities, et cetera? Are they doing some of that?
No.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, it's there's no rules. I mean, there's rules, but there's no rules.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of rules, Oregon, Ohio State, terrific football game last week. There was a loophole in a rule about sending a 12th man out on the field, getting penalized, but letting the play go. I guess credit Oregon, they found that loophole, but the NCAA's kind of shut that down with a ruling this week saying that will change in the final 2 minutes of each half. Your thoughts about that situation?
Hey, good for Dan. I mean, that's, he knew the rules. He thought through it. He had a plan. He attacked it, and it worked, and so, someone else should have, if they're changing the rule now, they should have probably known it ahead of time and thought through, hey, this is a loophole we need to be prepared for. But Coach Lanning figured it out, so good for him, and helped win that game, right? Especially the way the game ended. So, to me, there's a rule book. It's either legal or not legal. You do everything you can to find the competitive edge with staying within the rules. He did that, and now thankfully they changed it so that it's a little more fair. But I don't blame him one bit. It's
good. Don't you think it's a good thing they reacted so quickly to change this mid-season? That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, I mean, I think otherwise you'd see a proliferation of it moving forward, and. But he's the first one to do it, so credit to him.
Patty from Omaha, Coach, just wanted to say, Husker Nation's so happy to have you here. I've had season tickets for 35 years and sat through many tough games. I'm happy to see the way the team is playing for each other. Go Big Red. That's good that the fans recognize that, too. They see the guys pulling for each other.
I appreciate that, Patty. Thank you.
Very nice there. Andrew in Norfolk, Coach, what is your favorite college football stadium that you have coached in?
Oof.
Happy Valley's pretty good. Your alma mater.
Yeah, Happy Valley's it's a lot better when you're a Nittany Lion than when you have to go there. It's very loud. I'll be honest with you. As a player, I loved the old Northwestern Stadium. I just thought it was beautiful. Off the beaten path, I'd say coaching at Army or Navy is Army. And then I went there. I was at the Giants, and the year before I became the Temple head coach, I'd been at Temple. I went up and watched the game, and Julie was like 7 months pregnant. And we walked through campus, and you see all the military history, and people are so nice to you. And it's on the banks of the Hudson. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. So I loved Army and Navy. And then I coached at UCLA, the Rose Bowl. I mean, there's nothing quite like it, right. So I've been to some beautiful places. Going to Texas, that was pretty cool too. So, but probably the Rose Bowl was one of my favorites.
First time to Purdue for you, though. What, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, first time to Purdue.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, first time to Purdue. They had a good crowd. It was home. We're in the middle of a run of our next 4 opponents all have a bye week the week before they play us, and I think it's like 4 or 5 in a row that were their homecoming. So it's odd. So it was pretty cool to have Purdue's homecoming there. They had a good crowd, a lot of energy, and we kept them in the game, which allowed them to have more energy, which to be quite honest is probably good for us to play a fourth quarter and maybe a good prelude to the week after with Rutgers.
Here's an interesting question for you, Coach. How does feeding the players, coaches, assistants work on away games? Where do you get the food from, and what do you usually eat on game days?
Well, Kristen Coggin, she's our chief. She's the head of performance nutrition. She actually travels a day ahead. We're one of the only colleges I know that does that. I've never done it anywhere I've been. She travels a day ahead. The hotel feeds us when we're there. The dinner the night before, and if it's an 11 o'clock game, pregame meal. If it's a later game, the meals leading up, and then pregame, 3.5 hours before the game. And she manages it all. And then we take along 2 of our chefs from the training table, and they'll make omelets in the morning. They know some of the guys' food allergies. They know their food preferences. They know the things they like and don't like. So, but Kristen has to do a great job of making sure guys eat. A lot of guys don't want to eat on game day. They're nervous. They'd rather not eat, and all of a sudden in the fourth quarter
they're starving.
You zonk. So making sure that the guys are eating what they need to eat, and kind of go from there.
Very good.
I'll say this: we eat at the Cornhusker Hotel. They have this amazing chicken teriyaki.
No
kidding. Literally, I think it's one of the best meals I've eaten. So we try to recreate that on the road. Kristen does an amazing job. Sorry to add that in.
And you're there 7 games a year. I mean, so you're
no
there.
Doubt.
You use that place a lot.
No, if they would make it for me like on a random Tuesday, I probably would come through and have it. It's so good.
That may be able to be taken care of. How have you felt about the new training table and the new facility? Has that worked out to your satisfaction?
No, it's beyond expectation. I mean, the new training table, I think one of the great things is just the sense of community it brings. You're sitting there and, you walk by Rink Mass, you ask him how his leg's doing, you walk by the volleyball team, you say, hey, good luck tomorrow. You walk by, just all the different athletes that are in there. You get to really know those people, those student athletes. You see all the other assistant coaches, maybe Coach Manning's in there eating, staff, administration. So I just think it's a really cool thing that we're feeding them at such a high level and giving them that level of nutrition. At the same time, you're building a sense of community because you don't want football over here and basketball over here. You want them kind of all to be together, and I like that.
Coach Manning's awesome, isn't he?
Coach Manning's a difference maker. He sent me a picture from a book that he was reading. It was kind of after we lost Illinois, getting ready for the next week, and it was like the right message at the right time. And it's amazing just his uncanny ability to know probably like what I needed to hear. And he told me he sent it to his athletes a couple times, and then I can then take that and I can share it with the guys I think need it. So that's who Coach Manning is. Like he cares about people, and he's been. They've all been all the head coaches here have been amazing to me. But Coach Manning, I enjoy him. Fred, Amy, they're all such great coaches.
Mark Manning probably love to go on a road trip sometime, hang out with you.
Coach Manning would be on the sidelines, he'd be yelling and screaming at the guys. Let's go! That'd be awesome.
He would be. Done a great job with that program as well. And their season starts here in a couple weeks. We wish them good luck as they make their way through. All right, when did you switch from kind of the self-evaluation from the bye week to kind of putting in stuff on Indiana? Was it late last week?
No, we did it. We did it kind of simultaneously. Like we spent 2 days on self-evaluation, 2 days on Indiana in terms of us, and then the players really Thursday was like Thursday was the main day of, scout teams and, hey, here's what we're going to go against. And then we practice, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and obviously today. We practiced 3 days on them this week, and then we have 2 more days. We believe that you prepare all the way up until game time, and then really even in the game you're still preparing. You're still learning how they're attacking you. So our guys have gotten really good about, preparation and understanding what it means.
How much do you try to maybe install some new wrinkles in a bye week, or do you not want to overdo that with too much new information at this time of the year?
Well, I think sometimes it's about honestly eliminating things. Sometimes you have things you think are going to be good and they're not, but no, we definitely do. I mean, we definitely look
each week. You probably do.
Yeah, I mean, each week you have a game plan, and you take what you do well, and you look at what the other team does well, and you look at what you don't do well and what they don't do well, and you're trying to negate your weaknesses and exploit theirs. And so, we're still learning a lot about this team. Because it's one thing when you've had guys for 4 years. We've had these guys for we've 1 year and 6 games.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still learning about them. They're still learning about themselves. I look forward to the day when the seniors are telling the freshmen, hey, this is how we've done things the last 5-6 years here. That's what builds a great program. Right now, we're kind of all in it together, learning together. I'm learning about them. They're learning about us. It's fun, but it's more sustainable when it comes from the players. So we're still figuring out a lot about these guys, and it was a good week though.
Dorothy Lynch, homestyle light and lean, dressing endless flavorabilities. Indiana, the opponent, coming up on Saturday. Your second road game of the year. You're now kind of flipping to that stage where you're going to have more road games than home games because of the front-loaded part of it. But again, you've got a real affinity for playing on the road, and I think you've gotten that across to your team that these are great opportunities for us. Well,
I think the biggest thing is that, I just don't want to be an excuse maker. And so if we're on the road, I love being on the road. If we're home, I love being home. At the end of the day, we get a chance to coach and play football. I mean, we get to go out and represent the University of Nebraska and the state of Nebraska. How lucky are we? I say that to players all the time. Can you believe I come to work every morning and someone makes an omelet for me, and then, hey guys, you get to go downstairs, and if your neck's hurt, someone's gonna stick a needle in your neck to help you, and we're so lucky. Yeah. And so I think that sense of gratitude you want to have, and so I carry that over to our guys. Hey, I try to carry that over to our guys. Hey, this is an unbelievable opportunity for us to go on the road, but I do love. There's not many distractions. It's kind of like you in your hotel room. That's you. It's you and the guy, your buddies. And so, I told the guys today, a lot of coaches wear coat and tie on the road, and I did for many years. And then finally, as I got a little bit older, I wear the same sweatsuit, jogging suit that the players wear. I just want to kind of be in it with them. Right. I want our coaches to kind of be in it with them. If we go there and we win together. And if we go there and we lose together. But whatever we do, we're going to do it together. And that is such a message that I think our players need to hear. I think that's what I was saying about college football needs to hear. I think just our life and our society. I mean, the more that we're together, our world was built on, family and tribes and clans and people and groups. And so just that sense of belonging, of us being together, I think is such a powerful thing. And it's the only way you can win on the road, going there as the underdog. I mean, that's what a cool thing. I mean, what a cool thing for us. What an opportunity for us. And I'm fired up for it.
A couple of big Fox appearances, too. Great exposure for the program. You want to be relevant this time of year, and you certainly are.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it'll always come down to how we play. But, if you believe that you're going to play well, if you believe you're a good player, if you believe you're a good coach, and if you believe you have a good team, then, you want people to see you. You want people to recognize you. And you want not just the way we play, but what we believe in to jump off the screen. You want people to recognize, like Miss Patty said earlier, that's a team that plays for each other. That's a team that cares about each other. That's a team that doesn't point fingers. It's hard in today's day and age where, if you go on the internet, people are grading players, people are grading coaches, people are grading units. It can tear a team apart. Hey, I'm doing my part, but you're not. And just kind of always bringing it back to us. This is all about us. And when it comes to the fans, we want the fans to feel the same way. This is the Huskers versus everybody else. This is Huskers against the world, and not in a bad way, but no one's going to give us anything. No one's going to give the team that dominated the '90s anything. I think a lot of people are scared. Hey, what happens if they ever get up and running again? And so they don't want to give us a thing. And so I said a couple weeks ago, I'm here to fight for Nebraska, and I'm waiting for our players, and I think they are. I want them to go fight for Nebraska, and I want our fans to fight for Nebraska. I don't want us to fight each other. I want us all to come together and fight for something. And so that's why I like being on the road. That's why I'm excited about this Saturday, to play a great team like Indiana and have this opportunity. Hopefully people can feel a team that's playing together, even in the hard times. Can we enjoy the battle?
You're in a bit of a cocoon over there. I'm a little bit more out than you are. That feeling is out there with our fan base. They feel that. They sense that. So it's mission accomplished at this point. We got to keep winning, obviously, keep doing our part. Yeah. But it's out there, so you're getting it done. Time for this week's Alumni Hall Husker Alumni of the Week. We're going to go back to a guy who had a big game the last time Nebraska was in Bloomington in 2016.
Snap back to Tommy, now being chased, rolls to the near side, looking, throws downfield, the pass is caught, Stanley Morgan at the 45, he's going to go, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Nebraska.
Kind of a breakout game for Stanley Morgan, over 100 yards receiving, and the only time Nebraska has been to Bloomington since joining the Big Ten 13 years ago. This will be number 2 coming up this weekend. Stanley currently on the practice roster for the New Orleans Saints after a long run with the Bengals. Alumni Hall is your ultimate Husker shopping experience with the largest and best selection of apparel, vault gear, and tailgate accessories. Shop their 2 Lincoln locations or alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, where Huskers shop. Keep those texts coming, 402-413-2400. More with the coach coming up.
Just like D1 athletes, farmers view each growing season as a new opportunity. Aurora Cooperative is committed to elevating the success of our members every season. Rooted in our core mission, we provide top-notch products, services, and expertise. Our strong work ethic mirrors that of the Huskers, driving success. Choose Aurora Cooperative, your partner in elevating agriculture. Go Big Red!
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Get a 2024 Ford Super Duty for 1.9% with Ford credit financing, or get $2,000 bonus cash only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
In the game of life, we all face tough moments. Sometimes it feels like we're up against a formidable block with no way through. Call, text, or chat 988 for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Don't wait for the final set. Reach out, speak up, and let's bump, set, and spike this challenge together. Because in Nebraska, we're more than players. We're a supportive community. Remember, in times of need, call a timeout. Call, text, or chat 988. It's okay to ask for help. We're here for you. Every serve, every pass. Go Big Red. Presented by Nebraska DHHS.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Aksarben Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Looking for the ultimate sports watching experience? Head to Smash Park in La Vista, home of Husker Hangouts, Omaha's official watch parties. Arby's, your go-to spot for epic game day deals, delicious bites, and unbeatable fun. Catch every moment on our massive screens. Challenge friends to pickleball, axe throwing, and other games. Smash Park is where the action happens, whether you're cheering on the Huskers or just enjoying the atmosphere. Smash Park. Visit us today and turn your game day into a game night. Smash Park. Play, drink, eat.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
We're back on our Husker Football Coaches Radio. I have the head coach, Matt Earl, with us for a few more minutes tonight. Brought to you by Channel. As a farmer, challenges arise daily with a new enhanced Channel seed brand. You can tackle them all. Rise to the challenge with Channel. Learn more at channel.com/rise. Huskers headed on the road this week to take on the Indiana Hoosiers. You mentioned Monday in your press conference you did some work on special teams. What did you try to do? What did you try to do with that group as a whole in the last 10 days?
Well, I mean, I think, at place kicker, we're still working through, John's development. Mm-hmm. I think he's doing a good job. So,
big leg. Yeah,
big leg. And it really hasn't had an opportunity in the, last week to go out. But, he came in, he kicked off for us and did a good job. I'm really excited about where John's going to be. They're all young. They're all players. Even when I say young, they're all 18 to 22 years old. So they're better every day than they were the day before. So taking some work at that and then working on the punt and making sure the communication's just a little bit better, and both of those were just communication errors, So just making sure that we're better than we were last week. We haven't had that problem in the past. We've had it this year, so just have to be better.
Question on the text line kind of relates to that. Have you picked which kickers will be on the travel roster for this week yet?
Yes.
You have. Okay. How do you feel about the return game in both punt and kickoff? Where do you see yourself through 6 games?
Yeah, I mean, I think early on in the punt game, we did a great job of kind of, catching the ball, getting up the field. Last week, we were there was no really returnable balls. No, and really in college football nowadays, there's not many. As I've said a couple times, there's usually between 13 to 15 returns a year for most teams. So I think IGC's done a great job of not letting the ball roll down to the 2. He's done what we've asked him to do. Now, we were backed up a couple times last week, but he's done everything right, which is excellent for us. I would like to see us block more kicks. We blocked that field goal early in the year against Colorado. We haven't really done that since, and so I'd like to see that from our guys, especially on the punt. I think that could really turn things around. In the kickoff return game, people aren't scoring a ton against us, so we're not getting a ton of opportunities, and most of those, have been kicked through the end zone. When we've gotten chances, we've been okay. We've been good. We haven't been great. So I think there's a lot of room to improve. We have the players to do it. We're just trying to get them better, one day for the next.
Jacory seems like a guy that will have the ability in his career to make big returns. Is that how you view him?
Yeah, I think Jacory can do anything he wants. I think he's really a talented player, can do everything. And so, you have to be careful you don't spread him too thin with some of the things we're asking him to do, So make sure, you can put him at X, put him at Z, put him here, make him do this, But we like putting him on the field. He loves to play. I think he brings an engaging, contagious energy that's good for everybody.
I keep getting asked, and you do as well. Are you okay with the running back rotation, the way it's played out through 6 games? They're all a little bit different. They all have a little bit different skill set, which I think is a good thing in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I think they're all good players. Last week, that's one of the things that we looked at last week. Are we doing the right things with the right players at every position? Are the right guys touching the football? What we've lacked. I'm not putting this on the running backs, just in general. Whether it's perimeter blocking, running backs, throwing in enough, running enough. We just kind of lack the 50, 60, 70-yarder. We've got, you look at a lot of our runs, they're 60, 65, 70% efficient. But we're not getting the huge, the 4-yard hit is great, but we're not getting the 80-yard hit. And so going back and looking at that, are we doing the right things? So that's really what the bye week's for.
You started the year with an offensive line that now has two different starters in Henry and Gunner, how did they evaluate as you went back and broke their play down the last few weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I think Henry was probably the player of the game in the Rutgers game. I thought he played well, was down the field knocking guys over. Gunner's done a lot of really good things. Gunner's still learning how to anchor versus the bull rush, and this last week was a really valuable week for him and Donnie to spend some time really working on that. When you're the third left tackle in spring and you're the third, you get your reps, but you don't get as many reps, and you're getting reps versus different guys, and all of a sudden now you're out there and you're blocking James Williams every day, or you're blocking Ty Robinson, and that's the big thing with those young players is, don't go out there and panic. You go against good players every day. So, even James, what I love about James Williams, he goes on the scout team every week, and when he's not in on defense, he goes over there and gets reps. Or him and Terrence get into an argument, and then he goes over to the scout team. I don't know, one or the other. They've got such a big brother relationship. But it's good. So you're facing good players. So go out there and trust yourself. And I think Gunner's done a good job of trusting himself in big moments, and he'll only get better.
Gunner's the son of a coach. Does that come through?
In terms of like his
just knowing growing up around probably dinner table every night talking.
Absolutely. You have that mindset of being coachable.
Yeah.
Of constantly learning. When you've grown up with it, then it means a lot to you. And I think it means a lot to Gunner.
His measurables are pretty impressive, Coach. The wingspan, all of those.
He's 6'6", he's 310. I mean, he's got everything you need. It's like Johnny Hall. They have everything you need. Every one of our guys, they got to kill that bear. The bear that haunts you, you got to kill it when you wake up one day and you recognize, hey, I'm a good player. And you see the Ty Robinsons, the Gifts. Those guys have killed it. I think our team against Rutgers killed it in some ways. Like, hey, we can play well down the stretch and win a game, close it out. Those are valuable lessons that. When you're on the outside, you might look at it and be frustrated, like, why aren't we winning 52-0? But I think we learn a lot more when we go through these times and we learn from them. And so I hope we put it all together this week. We're going to have to versus this team. And we've shown glimpses and flashes of some pretty great moments. You just have to get a little more consistent. And that's guys like Gunner. That's guys like me. It's all of us. We all have to get more consistent.
Did you get out and do any recruiting at all last week?
Yeah, I went out Thursday night and went out and saw a prospect. So, they've limited the days now. There's only 33 employee days of recruiting, so you have to kind of pick your spots. And as we come down the stretch, we have another bye week where we will really get out and recruit. So we've done some good recruiting so far. But the best recruiting you can do is winning. And the best recruiting we can do is playing on national TV. And players all across the country, seeing our crowds, seeing the energy, coming to the games. This has been, I hope people recognize how important these first 6 games have been to establishing us, nationally as a cool place to be.
Getting a lot of talk nationally. The NCAA recently reduced the window of the transfer portal from like 45 days to 30. Good move? Is that okay to do that?
I don't think it matters. I mean, if you make it one day, if there's one day the guy can go out, he'll do it in one day. So, I think there were a lot of people that wanted it to go from 2 transfer portal windows to 1. So you have to make your decision once a year, but that didn't go through, and so. But hey, at the end of the day, we want to coach the guys who want to be here, and we hope that the wrong people don't get into our guys' ears, because all of us can get a little bit seduced by people that are showing us attention and people that are promising us nice things. And sometimes you wake up. I've learned in my own life, sometimes you wake up and you're at the wrong place at the wrong time. And so make sure that this is a great place, and I really hope that our players value it the way I value it. I think they do. I think they're grateful, and I think we'll have a good team for a long time.
Pioneer brand corn hybrids deliver proven performance bag after bag. Contact your local Pioneer sales rep to learn how you can get the most out of your acres. We're back with some final thoughts from the coach next.
Just like D1 athletes, farmers view each growing season as a new opportunity. Aurora Cooperative is committed to elevating the success of our members every season. Rooted in our core mission, we provide top-notch products, services, and expertise. Our strong work ethic mirrors that of the Huskers, driving success. Choose Aurora Cooperative, your partner in elevating agriculture. Go Big Red!
Another great harvest thanks to Pioneer brand corn.
Just a few questions.
Who are you?
Kim Colonel, Ag Sports News. I've been chasing your combine for a while. How does it feel getting 10 more bushels per acre over last season?
It feels great. Couldn't have done it without Pioneer. It's America's #1 corn brand.
And there you have it, folks. Live from the field.
Who are you talking to?
Pioneer. Your best year starts here. Learn more at pioneer.com/bestyet.
It's time to review the top 3 highlights of the day. I'm joined, as always, by my co-anchor, Snoop.
Hey, what up, though?
Snoop, number 1 has to be getting the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence at T-Mobile.
Yeah, you should hustle down to T-Mobile like a dog chasing a squirrel chasing a nut.
Nice analogy, Snoop. Dogs do love to chase squirrels.
And squirrels love to chase those nuts.
On to highlight number 2, at T-Mobile, families can save 20% every month versus the other big guys.
That is very impressive. You know, y'all can take some of those savings and buy some Snoop merchandise.
That's exactly what I'm planning on doing with my savings, Snoop. Now, take it away, Snoop.
Head to T-Mobile.com and get the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on them. Now drop that jingle.
With 24 monthly bill credits, eligible trade-in on Go 5G Next. Well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 connection charge. Cancel entire account before receiving 24 bill credits and credit stop and balance on required finance agreement too. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See how you can save versus the other big guys at T-Mobile.com/switch. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Out here, we raise stronger people, stronger crops, and we proudly raise our flag to that. Let the weather, pests, and pressures try to beat us down. We only keep growing up. With the next-gen genetics, the pure acre-for-acre know-how of these soils, and a deep pride of our roots, we are born to raise at Hogemeyer. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Back for our final segment of our Nebraska football radio show, brought to you by Channel. As a farmer challenges arise daily with a new enhanced Channel seed brand, you can tackle them all. Rise to the challenge with Channel. Learn more at channel.com/rise. Text question for you, Coach. Your thoughts on the Guardian helmets, and do you see them maybe being used in games more to prevent head injuries?
I think that's one of those things I usually defer to the studies and the doctors. You know, I think there was a lot of questions. That's why we didn't use it the first year. I think medically there was some questions of what was the veracity of it in the NFL, and I think the studies all came out saying that it reduced concussions, so we immediately went to it. You know, it's like anything else. Once guys start using them, you kind of get used to it. You're not shocked by it anymore. And I think in the NFL you have the option of wearing it in games. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure I think that's actually the rule in college now. I think you can if you want. So, but I'm all for it. Anything that keeps people safe. Why not? So I think it's probably a really good thing.
All right, got a minute left. Keys in your eyes for this one on Saturday.
You know, I think we have to just go play well. You know, I know that probably sounds stupid, but it's an excellent team. You know, we've shown flashes of being a really good team. To kind of put it all together, you know, we have to find a way to slow down their offense. We have to find a way to put some points on the board and eliminate the catastrophic plays we've had on special teams. You know, I think, first of all, I know other coaches always listen to these shows, so I'm not going to say too much other than I just think we have to play well. You know, it's just an unbelievable opportunity for us and to go out there and play. And I'm so excited. This has been probably 2 of the best weeks we've had. You know, people say that a lot and it doesn't come to fruition. So I say it just gives us a chance. And so I hope our guys play with passion and energy and you know what, just go out and try to make one more play than the opposition. I said that after the Illinois game, make one more play and go make one more play this week.
Good luck. Let's go get one.
Thank you.
Head coach Matt Rural with us here on Sports Night. We've got another hour of the show coming up next.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Last season was a banner year for the Huskers, winning 5 Big Ten titles. Nebraska also finished in the top 25 in the Directors' Cup standings. Beardmore Subaru congratulates Husker Athletics and Nebraska student athletes for all their achievements and stands behind you again this season. Go Big Red! Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester, the same trusted SUV it's always been, only more so. Love begins with trust.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Get a 2024 Ford Super Duty for 1.9% with Ford Credit Financing, or get $2,000 bonus cash only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Good evening. I'm David Swotek, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Nebraska football announced 2 more black shirt recipients on Monday. Junior defensive back Sierra Wright and senior punter Brian Buschini stood out to earn the right of the black shirts. Head coach Matt Rule spoke in Hour 1 about why Brian Buschini earned this honor.
Brian certainly affected the game. He's affected 2 games in a row. And so it made total sense. It's really easy to play great defense when the other team has the ball inside their own 10. Mm-hmm. And that plus Bryant's, violent tackling and dominant contact he's had, it just kind of fits our ethos, and fired up for him.
Earlier today, the Nebraska women's gymnastics team released their full schedule for the 2025 season. Among the 14 competitions in total, there will be 5 home meets at the Bob Devaney Sports Center here in Lincoln. The first meet will be the Nashville Invite against BYU, Auburn, and Oklahoma on January 4th at 4:05 p.m. Big Ten competition begins at Illinois on January 18th at 1 p.m. The full schedule can be found at huskers.com. Husker baseball finished the Game 5 of the red-white scrimmage with Red claiming the victory 4-0. In the 5-game series, Red took charge, winning 4 out of the 5 games. Red's Tucker Timmerman only allowed 1 hit and threw 2 strikeouts in his 3 innings pitched. Red Stokes led the Red team, being 2 for 3 and scored a run in the bottom of the 6th inning. The next time the Huskers will hit the dirt will be February 14th for the MLB Desert Invitational. Timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
They are bunched up around the line of scrimmage. Handoff to Dowdell off the right side. Touchdown, Nebraska! Dante Dowdell finds Pater. 6-0 Big Red. Let those balloons loose. 4th and 10 from the 26. Shotgun for Kaliak Menace. Gets the belt high snap. Has some time. Gets hit. Goes down. Huskers will take over on downs. James Williams again gets home.
Bump set to the left side, and Hudson swings. There's Lexi with another dig. Huskers the slide. Jackson needs it. Off to dig it out. Nebraska's second lead, set 5. It's 13-15. 13-12 Nebraska. Devaney Delirium. Bergen sends it to the back middle. Great pass again by Hudson. Outside set. Chloe Chicoine tipping, and there's Bergen. Huskers have it. 16-15 in the 5th. Right side. Merritt. She got it. Point Big Red. Call the grandkids. Nebraska takes down Purdue. 17-15. Set number 5. And they love it in Lincoln.
Now, here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
And we're back, hour number 2, Sports Nightly, here on a Wednesday night, our Hump Day show. Great to have the head football coach in studio last hour. We covered a lot of ground. Sometimes I don't want to get too deep in the weeds of just kind of breaking down strategic stuff. I'd like to hear thoughts about nutrition and how they eat on the road. I thought it was a really interesting hour to talk about the bye week, how they attacked all that.
Yeah, I mean, he has multiple press conferences that he gets asked a lot about the X's and O's. And that's what I love about getting those coaches in for an hour. I mean, when I got to fill in for you for Terrence Knight and finding out some of the stories that you don't always get to hear. I mean, obviously, I'm a sucker for that. I'm a featured type story reporter, but so I like hearing the outside of just the in-game stuff and what makes this program tick and what sets it apart and what are the things that they're doing to try to continue to move forward in the direction they want to go while also balancing all these changes. So I like that we can hear a different kind of perspective. But it was a lot of good stuff in there.
It was interesting to hear him talk about what he did on the bye Saturday. He watched a lot of games.
Oh,
Isn't
yeah,
that cool?
Yeah, when it was the Monday before, he said he was looking forward to watching a bunch of football over the weekend. So. I love what he said about even when in the NFL, he's watching all day, every day, and just a football junkie. I think a lot of those coaches are. So it's always nice to get to unplug and just watch and not have to. When you're playing, whether it's if you're at home, you've got recruits and you're not getting to sit there and watch.
We don't get to see a lot.
Even if you leave early, you don't have a lot of opportunity to watch much football. So to actually get a full day of getting to sit down and watch and take it all in, and
And I also thought it was interesting. Can he enjoy a game, or is he sitting there picking it apart like, oh, why are they doing this? He says, no, I try to just enjoy it and be a football fan. I think that's good. But, yeah, even for us, we all love college football, but we're so busy on a game day, we can watch snippets here and there. And that's why I don't mind the 11 o'clock games, because we can generally watch the full night session of games. And what a great game with Texas-Georgia coming up this Saturday night.
Yeah, and you guys actually have a TV, so you can kind of watch a little bit, check in on things.
But our middle monitor's always on our game.
Yeah, and then but then you also have the scoreboard update guru, Coatney, in there that's like pass along updates. I'm on the sideline. I don't have any service.
I know. You're always going, what do we got? What do we got? Give me
I'm like,
update.
pass it along. So people don't realize when I do those updates, I have no idea what I'm about to see.
No, I know.
You know, like,
you've not
because
seen a pre-tape.
I cannot. The Wi-Fi is a little bit better this year, but I know that that's something that Troy Dannon has talked about. But I've got zero service down there a lot of times. So I have a lot of times I'm watching with people like, what is going on? I'm seeing the script like, oh my goodness, this is the score. So, but yeah, it's, when you're in it and you're covering a team, I mean, it is an all day affair. And so you don't always have that luxury. So it is fun to actually get to sit back and just watch football all day.
Well, home games, you and I will jump in here. Ben and Damon are on the air with game day, and all the TVs will have different. We'll sit here and watch game. I get that. I get a little bit of that there, but that's so quick, and we don't sit here for an hour. We're here maybe for 30 minutes to watch some of that. So I enjoyed the bye week a lot because there were a lot of great games. You had a chance to slip out of town. Good for you to kind of recharge your batteries. Hope you're ready now for some more football.
I'm ready. It was fun. Went to Nashville, listened to some good music, and
nice. It's a great town.
Went to the Grand Ole Opry. It was their 99th birthday.
Did you like that place?
Yeah, it was cool. It was neat.
I've always said that's kind of a hidden gem, I think, in this country is Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, which I think it's become the bachelorette and bachelor party nation, or party place of the nation. I think it's overtaken Vegas.
Particularly for the females, I think.
Yeah.
My daughter's, that's where she's going.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was, we only went down to like the Broadway area the Thursday night, but it was a lot of bachelor and bachelorettes.
Well, every bar has a live music.
Oh.
Every bar.
It was crazy. Like you would go and you'd be hearing something and then you'd turn around, take 2 steps forward and here was a completely different genre of music too. I mean, there was some rock and roll, there's country. It was neat. It was a neat experience because I went to Nashville when I was working at Oklahoma and Kyler Murray got drafted, and it was a cool experience. But I worked the whole time, so I didn't get to see any of that kind of scene. So it was technically my first time to Nashville, and so it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
Our last bowl game was there.
I wouldn't mind going back.
No, it's a great destination. We played Tennessee, so they had a huge crowd advantage because they were Tennessee, but and they were really good. We did not win the game, but we played pretty well. We competed pretty well against them.
Here is a kind of a fascinating point that Searles brought up today when we were recording the podcast.
Is that out yet? Have you dropped that yet?
I'm about to post it.
Okay.
So, but we were talking about this is potentially the 6th win, and does that start to linger in the minds? And he said, I was always a part of teams where we knew we were going to a bowl game, but he said, I think for this team, it's surpassed making a bowl game. It's how good can our bowl game be from here? It's how good of a bowl game can we get in? Can we get into the one with all the bells and whistles? And so which is great because this is a program, a lot of these players haven't had that experience. So the fact that, it's not good enough just to make a bowl game at this point, even though they've not done it before. It's how good of a bowl can we get into? And so I just thought that was kind of a fascinating topic that do you get to that point when you're a player, this gets us bowl eligible? And I'm sure a lot of them maybe think that, but I think at this point they think we can win a lot more games than just 6.
Yeah, and that should be the mindset.
Yeah.
I mean, you're at 5 right now. We can get to 6. We still have 2 October games left. We can get to 6 before the end of the month. And, hey, this team's also sitting there going, we only have 1 league loss. Let's go win this week and go to 3-1 in the league and be right in the league race.
Yeah, and 3 undefeated teams. And as we've seen.
And one of them's Indiana. You can take care of them this week.
And as we've seen, a lot of teams can knock off a lot of different teams. And so who knows? Yeah, you are still in very much of a position to potentially even make the Big Ten championship game. So
don't dismiss that yet.
No,
I mean, we
absolutely
all should
not
do that. So moving forward. Interesting day. Interesting to hear from the coach. Great to have him on. We usually get him on once a month during the season, so that was a good time to get him in here and just hear about the bye week, how they attacked that, how they self-evaluated, how they went back and kind of broke down what the team looked like in the first 6 games. I think it came at a good time. I did ask him, I said, did you have any kind of going, we just won a game, want to keep rolling? He goes, no, it was time. He goes, it was time for a mental break and try to get some guys healed up.
Yeah, absolutely. It was almost the perfect time, and that was another thing Searles and I talked about last week. As a player, it was just ideal because there's a lot of teams that had a bye week, second week or the third
Purdue
week,
did. Yeah.
and you're like, man, it's too early in the season. You want to keep rolling. But this is where you have 6 games. You had a battle with Rutgers. You already had a battle with Illinois. So, as much as we heard the D-line and some of those guys say, hey, we're feeling pretty good, you did have some guys that were banged up that you wanted to get healthy. Give an extra week to Tristan Alvado, to Tommy Hill, to some of those guys to get right and get healthy and just rest the body. I mean, it is when you want to be the most physical football team every single week, it can take a toll. So get a mental break too, and unplug. A couple of the players I talked to, they didn't go home at all. They stayed up here. So hopefully they did, get to recharge. But I think they're just they love being around. They're eat up with it. They want to continue to get better. So I think even if you tell them, hey, take a break, I don't think at this point a lot of them wouldn't.
Right. Some wouldn't want to do that. It was a nice week to have. Coach brought up in the show that I think our next 4 opponents have bye weeks before they play us. Don't love that. I think both SC and us have the one before the FC game, so that neutralizes it. But Indiana was off last week like we were. Buckeyes are off this week. We play them next week. UCLA is off the last Saturday. That can be a bit of an advantage, but hey, I like where our bye weeks fall. We've got one. We've got another one coming up in 3 weeks.
I also think it could be a disadvantage,
Agreed.
though, too. There are times you see teams coming off a bye. Yeah, sometimes they look great. Sometimes they look terrible just because they're, you have that week off and it's you get out of your rhythm a little bit and the other teams might have had a big momentum swing that they're riding some momentum going into it, have some confidence. So sometimes it can be a little bit of an advantage, but sometimes I think it can be a disadvantage too. So hopefully it's a disadvantage for the Huskers opponents coming up.
No doubt. Folks, there is a new blood donation competition happening among Big Ten schools, and a $1 million prize is on the line. Nebraska, we currently are atop the leaderboard. If you bleed Husker Red, donate blood and submit for Nebraska at big10.org/Abbott before December the 7th. All right, 402-413-2400, the number if you want to be a part of the program. When we come back, we'll jump into the Blitz, hear about some big matchups around the league coming up this weekend in Big Ten football. So the Blitz, straight ahead.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Get a 2024 Ford Super Duty for 1.9% with Ford credit financing, or get $2,000 bonus cash only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
It's time again for some Nebraska Farm Facts. For Nebraska soybean farmers, sustainability is a way of life. 97% of farms are family-owned, and 95% are participating in conservation programs and using sustainable practices. And they have significant sustainability goals by 2025. 10% more energy efficiency, 10% less land, and 25% less soil erosion. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Imagine a world where your office IT runs smoothly, securely, and effortlessly. A day where you aren't worried about the next outage or password compromise. At Hamilton, we take care of everything from monitoring and maintenance to security and support. We partner with your business to design integrated technology solutions that fit your needs now and your goals for the future. With on-site and remote IT support options, we're always just a call or click away. Elevate your IT with Hamilton Managed IT. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Husker fans, Visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
Hey Husker fans, Coach Rule here, thanking you for your incredible support of Nebraska football. We're working every day to bring championship football back to Nebraska. Just as important is your contribution to 1890 Nebraska, the official NIL collective of Husker Athletics. Every contribution, no matter how small, makes a big impact. Your support helps us recruit and retain top talent, bringing a winning program that can compete at the highest level. Visit 1890nebraska.com or text NEBNIL to 801-801 now.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Out here, we raise stronger people, stronger crops, and we proudly raise our flag to that. Let the weather, pests, and pressures try to beat us down. We only keep growing up. With the next-gen genetics, the pure acre-for-acre know-how of these soils, and a deep pride of our roots, we're born to raise at Hogemeyer. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Sunday morning. You can smell it. Game day. And the brisket you've been smoking since last night. A day to be with family, aka fellow football fans. Traditions make Sundays easy to enjoy. Beers do too. Bud Light. Easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Last season was a banner year for the Huskers, winning 5 Big Ten titles. Nebraska also finished in the top 25 in the Directors' Cup standings. Beardmore Subaru congratulates Husker Athletics and Nebraska student athletes for all their achievements and stands behind you again this season. Go Big Red! Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester, the same trusted SUV it's always been, only more so. Love begins with trust.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Get a 2024 Ford Super Duty for 1.9% with Ford credit financing, or get $2,000 bonus cash only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, you know this, folks. It's sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Already Wednesday. Hallelujah, right? And that much closer to another game week for the Big Red as they'll play Saturday in Bloomington. But on Wednesday nights, we like to take a little spin around the conference. We call it the Big Ten Blitz, brought to you by Groundworks.
This is the Big Ten Blitz, Iowa.
And here to talk about the Hawkeyes, Scott Dochterman of The Athletic. Iowa with an impressive bounce-back win after the loss at Ohio State, 40-16 over Washington. 40 points. Scott, this offense seems to be finding a little bit of rhythm under first-year coordinator Lester.
Yeah, there's a lot I like about this offense right now. I think the running game is really operating at a high level. This is the fifth time in 6 games they've hit 200 yards on the ground, and the passing game's still got a long way to go. But they do have some athletes, I would say, at wide receiver, and they were efficient in the air. They only had a little over 100 yards, but you didn't need more than 100 yards with the way they were running the football. So this offense isn't necessarily great, but it's a major improvement of what it was the last couple of years.
Washington ended up with 16 points, but they had some really nice long drives and had a field goal block that stopped one of them. Iowa doesn't seem to be quite as sharp defensively as they've been in the past. Is that fair to say through 6 games?
Yeah, it's not as dominant, I would say. That's true. One of the things it's kind of built as is it's always been built as bend but don't break, but they've just been so strong the last few years that mantra hasn't really applied to them. But a lot of times it's once they get into the red zone, they find a way to shut the door, and that's kind of what happened there. They had a blocked field goal, they had an interception, and then Iowa turned the tables on them. And then once they got behind, they started trying to pass against that defense, and that's where the real problems begin for a lot of teams.
Scott, you look at it, I know there's 2 losses in the column right now for the Hawks, both to top 10 teams, the way Iowa State has played, and Ohio State's obviously going to end up in there. This schedule sets up that it could be a pretty nice run to the finish line. Is that how you think folks in Iowa City are looking at this?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this team is it's ascending right now. You can kind of feel it and you can see it. I mean, they had their best game as an offensive line the other day. The passing game was efficient. The running game is at a high level with Caleb Johnson, and the defense is getting better. And I would say based on the schedule, they have probably the easiest schedule of all the teams that are in the upper echelon, not only in the Big Ten but around the country. I think they've got a chance to go on a really nice run and have a potential to meet that 10-win marker again for the 4th time in 6 years.
All right, and again, that would be a hard team to not put in a playoff if Iowa gets to a 10-win season. Let's start with the one that's next. That's Michigan State primetime on Saturday night. What do you make of this matchup?
Michigan State's got a lot of talent, but wow, they lost a lot of players. I mean, I think there's like 47 in the portal. They've got some new ones that are in. I think Aiden Childs is a terrific young quarterback, but very erratic and inconsistent. And the problem for Michigan State is that they're bad in the areas that Iowa really exploits. I mean, they're one of the worst teams when it comes to penalties, red zone offense, and turnover margin. And Iowa does a really good job of turning those problems around on teams. And then also they don't run the ball very effectively. And they're not really scoring a lot of points. They're averaging less than 20 points a game. So all of that just really is a recipe for disaster against an Iowa team that exploits a lot of those mistakes and now can control the football with the way it runs.
Iowa and Michigan State primetime on NBC 630 Central Time. Scott Dochterman of The Athletic. As always, Scott, we appreciate the insight.
All right, thanks, Greg. Appreciate it.
Illinois.
And here to talk about the Illini, Steve Kelly of the Illinois Network. Illinois played a doubleheader last week, Steve. He played a first half and he played a second half. They were completely different. I know it's probably at the end it was a win, but what a bizarre game. What'd you make of that thing?
It really was. They had Purdue down 27-3 early in the second half. And Purdue ended up scoring 46 points after halftime. That included the 6 they scored in overtime. And Illinois got out with a 50-49 victory over Purdue. And I think Brett Bielema going into it would love to put up 50 points on one of his old coaches, but he didn't want to give up 49. So the bottom line is they got out with a win, and now they take on number 24 Michigan. Illinois rated 22nd this week.
They got the win, and they got the cannon back, right? It's been a little while since they've had that trophy.
Yeah, it's been 4 straight years, and 7 out of 8 and 8 out of 10 and 15 out of 20. Purdue's just had some kind of number on Illinois over the recent history, yet with that win, Illinois narrowed the all-time series. That was the 100th meeting, by the way, last week, and Purdue's got a 2-game edge. So it's been up and down and kind of streaky, but Purdue's been the team that's been on the streak of late.
Well, Lisa Cannon is in the Illinois trophy case for the next 12 months. Steve, we were so impressed with Luke Altmaier when he came to Lincoln and the Illinois team came out with an overtime win. I got to imagine the coaches, the team, really thrilled with what they're seeing from the Illinois quarterback right now.
Well, he's completing 68% of his passes. He's got 1,426 yards, 14 touchdown passes, and only 1 interception. That's the big number there, Greg, just 1 interception. And he's controlling the offense. He steps up when he needs to. He's got a pretty good group of receivers. The Illinois running game is still suspect in my mind, but and their ability to stop people still is something that has to be addressed. But Luke Altmaier certainly is playing like an all Big Ten quarterback. I don't know if he'll get that first team honor or not. There's some other good ones, but he certainly would be in consideration.
You alluded to it earlier as we now look ahead to this week. It is a battle of ranked teams in Champaign. Michigan comes to town. These teams have had some really good battles and some really odd calls late in games. Set this matchup up for us, this battle of ranked teams coming up at Memorial Stadium on Saturday.
Well, this is the 100-year anniversary of the dedication game at Memorial Stadium in 1924 against Michigan, the game in which Red Grange scored 4 touchdowns in the first 12 minutes of the game. How did they do that, you might ask? Well, the team had an option to kick off or receive, and Michigan kept kicking off, and Grange kept running them back. But he had 212 rushing yards in that game, and that's what he became the celebrity that he ended up being, the Gray Ghost or Galloping Ghost and all those nicknames, as Illinois won that and stopped a 22-game Michigan winning streak. This is the 100-year anniversary of that. Josh Whitman, the athletic director, has been working on trying to get this schedule right with the Big Ten for the last 3 or 4 years to try to get it on the same day. It's actually a day off, but it's on the Friday afternoon, or rather Saturday afternoon. So, yeah, there's a lot going around the ball game. And on the field, 2 nationally ranked teams. Michigan is 4-2. They're coming off a loss right before the bye week. Illinois is 5-1. Their only loss was at Penn State a couple of weeks ago. So it has the makings of a good game. From my standpoint, and my job is just rather not go to overtime. I've seen enough of those over the years, but they do make it exciting. So if it does, it does, right?
Well, you came out on one end in Lincoln, and then you were able to get Purdue last week. Maybe you kind of want to keep these overtime trends going. But Michigan, they seemed a little wounded, Steve. They're having issues at quarterback. They're not nearly the team they were a year ago that won the national championship. I think this is a fascinating matchup between these two teams. I got to imagine the Illinois fan base is fired up for this one on Saturday.
Oh, they really are, and they're fired up. The Michigan's favored by 3, but I don't know how that works. But the odds makers are seeing something. Caden Fagan, by the way, Illinois' leading rusher, will not play for a second straight week. He sustained a hip injury, I believe it was, an upper leg injury at least, and he was out for Purdue and not likely to play here. So maybe that's part of the Vegas line there. But whatever, it's pretty much a toss-up game. And Michigan runs the ball pretty well. They stop the run pretty well. They have given up some passing yardage, so maybe that's where Illinois is going to need to attack the Michigan defense.
Should be a good one. Michigan at Illinois, 2:30 Central on CBS. Steve Kelly of the Illinois Network. Steve, we appreciate it. Enjoy the game.
Always my pleasure, Greg. Good to talk to you.
Northwestern.
Here to talk about the Wildcats, Louis McCare of the Wildcat Report. What an impressive road win last Friday night for the Cats at Maryland, 37-10. I got to believe, Louis, that the coaching staff loved what they saw. That was a pretty complete performance. What'd you make of it?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's what David Braun talked about after the game and again on Monday, is that they put together all 3 phases. You know, their defense has been playing good for most of the year. The offense has come on the last couple weeks. They got a really good game on special teams. You know, they had Luke Akrs that handled kicking, place kicking, and punting on Saturday, and they converted everything there. They got a fumble They created 4 turnovers, so it was a total team effort, and it resulted in a 27-point win for Northwestern. Those don't happen too often, especially in Big Ten play. So it was definitely a confidence-boosting win for them.
You mentioned Akrs. He was rewarded by the league Special Teams Player of the Week for his dominant performance. It was a couple weeks ago, Louis, we talked to you, and they were making the switch at quarterback. That seems to have settled the team down a little bit. Talk about that position and the play they've been getting.
Yeah, Jack Lausch really seems to have found his footing. He's really playing pretty well. He's improved so much. That first game they went out to Washington and they had 112 yards of total offense, and he had a rough day, and it was looking pretty grim. But the last 2 weeks, even against Indiana, the offense moved the ball pretty consistently. And then against Maryland, he had 3 passes over 40 yards or more in that game, which is, they made some big plays, which is pretty rare. But he's, they're moving the pocket a little bit to take advantage of his running skills, and he's really seemed to get comfortable and confident in a hurry, and that was definitely the right call to make. It looks like, and plus he's got 2 more years. That puts him in a pretty good position moving forward as he continues to develop.
No doubt. All right, let's spin to this week. Wisconsin, and they seem to kind of found their footing a little bit. They visit Evanston for this game, and in a series that you were telling me beforehand has really been remarkably close for the last 35 or so years. Size this matchup up for us.
Yeah, since 1985, I think it's Wisconsin has won 17 and Northwestern 16. So it's been a flip of the coin. And I know a lot of the time, almost all the time, Northwestern is the underdog. But especially in Evanston, they seem to have Wisconsin's number. I think, the offense is going to have to be a little more consistent. That's the one thing that I think scared me a little bit about that win at Maryland is, they got the turnovers and everything, but the offense, I think they had less than 300 yards of total offense. They had like 5 3-and-outs, so they kind of lost their way in the middle of that game, and I'd like to see them run the ball a little bit better to kind of, move the chains and keep the time of possession and things like that. So I think this is going to be a big test for them. It's going to be a physical game. Wisconsin, like you said, the last 2 games, I think they've outscored their opponents 94-13, if my math is correct. So they've seemed to have found their groove, too. So I think this is going to be a pretty tight, old-fashioned, physical Big Ten type of game.
Should be a fun one. 11 o'clock kick on BTN as the Cats host the Badgers. Louis Vaquer of the Wildcat Report. Louis, great stuff as always. Look forward to chatting with you again down the road.
Thanks, Greg. Always a pleasure to be on.
Louis and all of our contributors appear with us on our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. They have been your trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with a home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. And our Blitz brought to you by Groundworks, the official foundation company of the Huskers. Going to be another great weekend, college football in the Big Ten. All right, phone lines, text lines back open, 402-413-2400. Jessica will rejoin me next.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Husker fans, it's game day, and Pizza Hut's got your perfect play. Score the game day special for just $29.99. Get 2 medium 3-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Enough to feed 8 hungry fans. Pizza, wings, breadsticks, and more. It's the ultimate lineup to fuel your game day. Check out the full menu online at pizzahut.com or in store. Because remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Hello, Husker Nation. This is Lex Rodriguez, All-American Libero, serving you an ace on behalf of Noddle Companies based in Omaha, Nebraska. Noddle Companies is a full-service leader in commercial real estate, digging deep to create thriving communities like the Builders District, Exarban Village, and the contemporary row house townhomes. They bring world-class concepts in fashion, great eats, gorgeous homes, and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. To dig up more information, find them on Facebook and Instagram. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska.
Looking for the ultimate sports watching experience? Head to Smash Park in La Vista, home of Husker Hangouts, Omaha's official watch parties. Your go-to spot for epic game day deals, delicious bites, and unbeatable fun. Catch every moment on a massive screen. Challenge friends to pickleball, axe throwing, and other games. Smash Park is where the action happens, whether you're cheering on the Huskers or just enjoying the atmosphere. Smash Park. Visit us today and turn your game day into a game night. Smash Park. Play, drink, eat.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Folks, here's what's on tap, brought to you by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Husker volleyball will play at Michigan State. Late afternoon match Friday. Pre-game 4 o'clock. A little odd for us here on the network on a Friday. First serve at 5. And then they have a quick turnaround. They go right to Columbus, Ohio. We'll play the Buckeyes Saturday afternoon, so less than 24 hours. They'll get 2 matches in. But Michigan State, 4 o'clock pregame, 5 o'clock for first serve. Husker football back on the air after the bye week. 11 o'clock kick in Bloomington against nationally ranked Indiana. Husker game day begins at 7 a.m. 8 a.m. in the East Coast time zone, which is what Bloomington is, but 7 a.m. back here with Ben McLaughlin and Damon Betting. That is what is on tap, brought to you by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Dryce on our text line from Florida said, guys, is there a way for an out-of-state Husker fan to participate in the blood drive, and what confirmation is needed for that donation? Do you have an answer for that?
Okay, so that website that you said, it's big10.org/Abbott, and it is ABBA, right?
Abbott, ABBOTT.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there is a form right there. It's super easy. It takes you step by step of what you need to do. But basically, when you go to that website, you can donate anywhere in America. And when you go to that website, you just have to upload a proof of donation and then say which school that you want to donate to. So I asked the couple of people that are helping promote this here at Nebraska. And they said you just submit for Nebraska if that's where you want to go. But they take you through everything that you have to do in the steps. You take a photo, proof of donation, and then which school. And then this is just the response I just got. And we are way in first place for the $1 million. So thank you, Husker Nation. Keep it going. So we are still very much in the lead. And so if you're thinking about giving blood, make sure you go to that website and donate to the Huskers so that they have a potential to win that $1 million.
Fantastic. That would be great. I'm not sure where that money funnels to, but to be at the top, and this is not surprising me. Husker Nation continues to amaze us with everything they do. This place is special from that standpoint, that you kind of throw a ball or a bat or something out there, and our fans show up. Whether it's volleyball or basketball or football or softball and baseball, they show up, and wrestling and gymnastics are fun around here. I love going to the gymnastics meet. I know David had it in the ticker that the women's gymnastics schedule dropped today. That'll be fun. I know we're still a few months out from that season getting going, but I think they're going to be pretty good.
Yeah, and I think both Coach Revelle and Coach Cook said it. It was last summer going into the year when we were talking about Nebraska was number 2 in the nation in the women's sports attendance behind South Carolina when it was softball, volleyball, soccer, and women's basketball. Yeah. And Coach Revelle and Coach Cook both, not even hearing what each other said Husker Nation will respond to a challenge. They always do. And so sure enough, we were number 1 in the nation last year in that women's sports attendance. So, here's another opportunity for Husker Nation to make a huge impact. But, I pulled up the website. It's really easy. It just says either submit your donation or sign up to give blood. And if you click on submit your donation, then it's just like answer all the questions and then date of donation, university affiliation, donation center or mobile drive, and then upload proof of donation photo. So it's super easy. If you're planning on doing that, just check out the website before you go so you make sure you have all the information that you need to be able to upload.
Speaking of soccer, this is their last week of the regular season. They have 2 home matches. Oregon tomorrow night, 7:05 at Hibner. Then they will host Washington Sunday at 1:05. Been a disappointing year. This is a team that had high hopes. They've not been able to close out some matches where they had late leagues. Probably aren't going to make the postseason Big Ten tournament. But 2 home matches to go out and support them. Should be a nice night tomorrow night, 7:05 at Hibner against Oregon. Very winnable match for Nebraska. The Ducks have had a tough year as well. So I'll get out there and support them. Sarah Weber has been a terrific player in her career at Nebraska. So for her final couple matches at home, it'd be nice to get out there and support them this week.
And it's the dog night, right, on Thursday? I believe it is.
Dog bark? Dog at the park?
Pups at the pitch. Pups at the pitch.
Yeah, you're right.
So take your puppies out there, your dogs. That was Sonny's first sporting event a year ago. But yeah, it's, I know they're disappointed. It had high expectations coming off the season last year, had a really high preseason ranking, but I think for as much as they had to coming back, and I certainly I'm not a soccer expert, but thought that, they'll figure out a way, but it's just 28 goals in a season with Eleanor Dale, and the season that she had, just maybe overlooked just the tremendous void that was going to be to fill.
The minute she is eligible, she'll be in that Nebraska Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
She just was that dominant, one of the best players in the country last year. Rich from Harlan said, I donated today, filled in the info with the picture. It was super easy. Go Big Red, Red Cross Blood Drive. So there you go, Harlan, all over it. So yeah, it's pretty simple. I think the folks in the chat want you to type it in the chat so they have the link.
Oh, to the Big Ten?
Yeah.
Or to the blood drive?
Yeah, so the chat folks are asking for little extra special work for them. Folks, our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Keep those texts coming. Love them. 402-413-2400. We're back to put a bow on this show next.
From family road trips in a spacious SUV to heavy-duty hauling in a powerful truck, Woodhouse has the vehicle to fit your lifestyle. Purchasing a vehicle has never been easier thanks to our streamlined buying process. Browse a huge selection of new or pre-owned vehicles from top brands. View transparent pricing so you can find the vehicle that fits in your budget. And complete your purchase online. Shop when you want, where you want. It's the Woodhouse difference. Get started today at woodhouse.com.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump
and save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Is your phone system holding you back? We know how important smooth, reliable communication is for your success. Whether your team is working from the office or on the go, you need a phone system that keeps up with your busy day. At Hamilton, we offer business phone systems that adapt to your needs, making every call clear and every connection simple. Upgrade to a Hamilton business phone system where advanced features meet unmatched reliability. Are you ready to transform how you communicate? Better phones, better business. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
Cox Mobile is hosting Huskers Hangout, Omaha's official watch party on Saturday at Smash Park in La Vista. Game kicks off at 11 for Fox's big noon kickoff game. The event open to the public. All ages certainly welcome. Husker Hangout presented by Cox Mobile this Saturday at Smash Park in La Vista. For more information, go to huskers.com/hangout. That'll be a good time. Go out there. Weather should be pretty good. A little chilly. Maybe you might need a little jacket early in the day for that one. Weather looks like it's going to be really good in Bloomington. Let me look at the latest forecast for that game. I don't think we're going to have the wind issue that we did for the Rutgers game a couple weeks ago. They're saying Saturday a high of 70, low of 41 that night. So by noon their time, it ought to be low 60s, I would think. That's pretty good. And
Low
if you don't have
60s?
not much wind, that'll be good. Sunshine.
I thought it was going to be in the 70s.
High of 70, but at noon it may not be 70 yet.
Okay.
But you probably get there by the end of the game, so it'll be
All
good.
right, hopefully.
Yeah, it'll be good. So
Did you want me to give an update on these numbers?
Oh, the blood drive. You
Yeah.
did. You found some updated. Yes.
So I was sent the live leaderboard, and Nebraska, so we were told we were way ahead. I just didn't know how far ahead. So get in first place, and it has live saved and then donors. So we've got 1,111 donors, live saved 3,333. The next closest is UCLA, and they've saved 1,071 lives and have 357 donors.
Whoa.
So we have 1,111 donors. UCLA's in second, and they have 357. Wisconsin's in third at 327 with 327 donors. So we're way ahead. Let's keep that lead going, and let's win this thing.
Fantastic. Good job, Husker Nation. Not surprised by that at all. Tom and Hayes said, guys, just wanted to give you my prediction on your thoughts. Huskers win the turnover battle, and they have a balanced attack. We win by 10. Go Big Red. I think that's got to be a key. We cannot. And I also think, and Coach Worrell doesn't like to talk about fast starts, but I don't think we can fall behind his team. We got to kind of stay with them or be ahead and put the pressure on them.
Yeah, again, I keep going back to the conversation I had with Searles today, but he's a guy that played on some explosive offenses, and he talked about how frustrating that was. You and I chatted about that on Sports Nightly last night about, look what happened to Colorado when you came out, and it's so frustrating for an offense that is they run out there and expect to roll and light teams up and put up a bunch of points, and when they cannot get it going, it's extra frustrating. So, yes, they want to win 4 quarters and have a fourth quarter shutout, all those. But I think for an offense like Indiana, it certainly would bode well if you could frustrate them out of the gate and get them out of a little bit of a rhythm, just because that's an offense that's used to high flying and getting things rolling and putting up a bunch of stats. So if you can frustrate them early, get them a little bit out of sync, I think it certainly will help the Huskers case.
I think the atmosphere is going to be great. They're fired up. Big noon kickoff there. It's going to be electric. We've got to match that intensity early in the game, and I know that Coach knows that's a challenge. I bet we see the little Oklahoma drill again in warm-ups. I think he's kind of fallen in like of that.
Yeah. When we saw it the first time at Purdue, I could just tell when Coach Rule was walking around the sideline, because I went down there a little bit earlier, and you could tell he's fired up.
Yeah.
He likes the road matchups. He said it earlier. He loves being at home, but he likes the road matchups. Well, I could tell he's fired up. And then once the team did that, then they were juiced, So I can definitely see if they're going to do it again. I wouldn't be surprised.
Me neither. All right, tomorrow night, Troy Dannon's monthly AD show. That will be during hour 1. A little bit earlier in the month, but we're just getting kind of pinched with sporting events and other call-in shows. So he'll be on tomorrow night, hour 1. And then we'll be making some picks. And there are some great games again this week. Georgia, Texas. Bama, Tennessee, good games in the Big Ten. That'll be interesting to pick. Michigan, Illinois. I've struggled with that one all week. I'm not sure where I'm going on that one yet. I still have some time to pick that out. So, looking forward to tomorrow night's show. Should be a good one.
Yeah, awesome. Always love hearing from Troy Dannon, and he always has a special guest. So we got a fun one lined up for tomorrow.
Fantastic. David, Henry, appreciate it, guys. Thank you for steering the ship for us tonight. Thanks to all of you. Wonderful texts coming through for Coach Rural. Hope you enjoyed that hour. If you missed part of it, it's posted on Huskers.com. You can go back and watch that first hour of the program. Enjoy the rest of your night. Dodgers lead the Mets 2-0. Game 3 of the NLCS. I do not want a Subway Series. I wouldn't mind Yankees-Dodgers. That'd be kind of fun. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
For almost 50 years, Sid Dillon Buick GMC Cadillac in Fremont has been more than just a dealership. We're a family dedicated to serving yours. Shop Nebraska's #1 volume Buick GMC dealer for the new car, truck, or SUV to fit your needs. We're also your GMC Business Elite dealer for commercial vehicles. Visit us at SidDillonBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Husker fans, it's game day, and Pizza Hut's got your perfect play. Score the game day special for just $29.99. Get 2 medium 3-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Enough to feed 8 hungry fans. Pizza, wings, breadsticks, and more. It's the ultimate lineup to fuel your game day. Check out the full menu online at pizzahut.com or in store. Because remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Experience the new, innovative, and above all, exceptional vehicles at Woodhouse Buick. We guarantee that our staff can help you find your next vehicle. Stop in and save with our current offers going on now. Save up to $1,000 off MSRP, plus 0.9% APR for 36 months on the 2024 Buick Envision Sport Touring All-Wheel Drive. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade with approved credit. Must finance